Over the winter, which is, obviously the slowest season, we
Hmm.
got about 50 clients. So we went from 30 to roughly 80. And just in the last, like, I think it's been a week and a half or maybe two, we've gotten 10 more accounts. Now that, spring's starting, people are starting to actually think about their pools. A lot more leads are starting to come in. And now we're pushing 90, about to hit 90 clients. And I'm looking to hire my second tech. So I hired my first tech a couple months ago, and he's been great. And he's already pretty much full because I'm doing all the repairs and then he's doing the weekly cleanings. So
All right, guys. So I am here with a successful client, Ben from Texas. So, Ben, why don't you just kind of introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where you're from, what you do, all that good stuff.
sounds good, man. Yeah. I'm Ben. I have a pool service company here south of Dallas, about 30 minutes in Midlothian, and we service just basically all the southern cities along 287. Been doing it for 3 years. Um, and yeah, it's been going good now that I've met Reese.
Awesome, man. So kind of tell me about I guess the business like before we started working together. Like where were you kind of at? Like what did that kind of look like?
It was super sporadic. So it was basically just a lot of trial and error. A lot of like I worked with a different company that kind of did the done for you style ads where they just plug and played, kind of just had the same ad running the entire time. And there was some success, but it wasn't anything that was really great, but I didn't know any different at the time. So I was like, oh, some leads are coming in versus just, me door knocking or, you know, getting here and there calls from my website or, Google. And I barely had any reviews at the time, which has changed as well now that I actually have the system. Um, so yeah, before it was basically just like trial and error, um, not a whole lot of luck with anything. And I didn't have like a defined system. I didn't have any like set thing that was okay, this, I didn't know how anything worked basically. So
Mhm. Mhm. Got it, got it. And how many accounts? I think I had it written down, but how many accounts were you at? I guess like whenever we first started, do you remember?
I think it was around 30, something like that.
Okay, got it, got it. And you were mostly at that point kind of growing. Obviously, you said you worked with the other company, and then I guess mostly other than that through word of mouth.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And what was kind of your main goal, I guess, whenever you reached out to me? Like what were you kind of trying to accomplish?
So let me backtrack a little bit. So when we first started talking, I had just restarted the business. So at first
Yeah.
I was in it. I built it up to, I think, about 70 clients or so, and then sold that route, and was ready to get out of the pool business, try something different. Did that for a little bit, realized kind of what the pool business is, and instead of beating my head against the wall, try to find a different way that actually made this a real business instead of just like, hustling as much as I could without having an actual plan. So then when we met, it was when I had kind of restarted the business, got it up to 30, just kind of the same way that I did it the first time, which was it took way too much time. Um, I was just kind of going out and doing the same things where it was super slow. And that was right after the summer. So I'd only gotten
Mhm.
30 clients over the entire spring and summer, which was, I was like, okay, this obviously isn't working. Um, and so then I started looking into running Facebook ads and Google ads and kind of just like what options there were. And I was like, well, I don't really want to go back to the people that I had before, where it was kind of the done for you system because that didn't really work that well. I mean, it was fine, but it was expensive and um, it just wasn't, it didn't produce that many results. And
Mhm.
so when I found you, I was literally like, I think it was an Instagram ad of yours that popped up as I was looking for how to, how to run Facebook ads basically. And
Mhm.
so I was like, okay, yeah, well, let me see what this guy's talking about, and hopped on a call. and I like the way that you actually teach how it's done and teach us how to do it rather than just being like, okay, let me just do it all for you. And then you still have no idea what's going on. So, if if for some reason, we didn't keep going, then you're back in the same place. And
Yeah.
so, and yeah, after that, it completely has, changed not just like the ads aspect of it, but also the other systems that come along with it, like getting more reviews and things like that. So,
Sweet, sweet. Awesome. So, so where are you kind of at now versus, where you were at before? Like, I think we started in October. That's whenever you launched your ads, and now it's like almost March is almost over. So, I know you mentioned you had hired a new tech and you've gotten like, how many accounts have you gotten? How does that kind of look?
we're almost at 90 now. So over the winter, which is, obviously the slowest season,
Hmm.
we got about 50 clients. So we went from 30 to roughly 80. And just in the last, like, I think it's been a week and a half or maybe two, we've gotten 10 more accounts. Now that, spring's starting, people are starting to actually think about their pools. A lot more leads are starting to come in. And even some calls are coming from Google Business Profile, not as many as Facebook, but just from the reviews that we've built up now, because I think when I first started before the whole, review system, there was like maybe 20 reviews over 2 years of doing the business. And then now we're right at 50 reviews. And so that's helped a lot with Google. But yeah, now we're pushing 90, about to hit 90 clients. And I'm looking to hire my second tech. So I hired my first tech a couple months ago, and he's been great. And he's already pretty much full because I'm doing all the repairs, and then he's doing the weekly cleanings. So I'm having to help him with weekly cleanings, and so I'm looking to buy another truck soon. And then I already have another guy who's ready to go. He's just waiting for me to get another truck. So it's exciting now that you
Yeah.
know spring and summer are coming up. It's perfect timing.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think I remember I was looking at the notes. I remember talking whenever we first talked that I think tech hiring a tech and kind of offloading some of the work, offloading the weekly cleaning work was one of the things that one of your goals, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and so now you got another tech coming soon, one tech now, and you're kind of focusing on the repairs. Cool, cool. When were you actually able to hire that guy? Like how quickly after, getting started, did it take like a few months or how long did it take before you hired that guy?
So I hired him actually the same week that I got married, which was right at the end of January. So I think it's almost been 2 months now. Maybe right at 2 months because it was like the last week of January. So that was like right at the point where I was I was stretching myself thin, having to do all of the maintenance, every weekly cleaning, as well as doing repairs for all the clients, and then, other calls that were just for like one-off jobs and one-off repairs and stuff like that. So yeah, that happened right at the end of January.
Nice. Nice, nice. And then I remember I looked at your ad account after you kind of reached out and told me about how you got 50 accounts from I think I looked and it was like October 20 something through March 13th or something like that. And you spent around 5.5 grand. So you spent around 5.5 grand and got like 50 accounts. So then if you do the math there, that's like $111 per account, which is really solid. Well, were you kind of worried, I guess, at all? Because so many people in the pool industry that I talk to are worried about they just don't want to run ads during the winter. And it makes sense if you're in a market where obviously the pool's closed, there's kind of no point. But in a market like yours in Texas, Florida, California, Arizona, et cetera, still a lot of people don't want to do it. Um, were you kind of worried about the timing around running ads during that time? Did you think that, you were going to get as many accounts as you did? And what kind of made you decide not to wait and hold it off until spring like most people do?
Well, I figured that if I can get any clients that you get in the winter, basically, in the Dallas area, because it does get cold like a couple weeks, maybe a few weeks out of the whole year, like real cold, but everybody keeps their pool open the whole year.
Yeah.
But if you're getting those accounts during the winter, you know they're going to stay for the summer as well. They're going to be yearly clients. So I
Yeah.
was honestly more happy running ads with all the clients that I was getting over the winter because I knew that they were going to be yearly, not just like, okay, I want you from, March to September or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't expect it to go as well as it did. I was kind of preparing for it to be a little bit slower. And then once there were the results that there were, it got me fired up and also more focusing on the business because I know that it performing that well in the winter means that it's it's going to be a lot crazier now and during the
Hmm.
summer, which it is just starting to I'm starting to kind of get a taste for what it's going to be like. So um, rather than trying to like scale back, I'm preparing for how I can, keep hiring people, make sure that the systems are in place and keep this thing going instead of, trying to
Hmm.
like shrink back and be like, oh, dude, it's too much. Because I mean, this is what I was hoping for,
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
Awesome. So what's kind of the goal for I guess the next for this year or I guess this season? You're trying to get the new tech. Do you have like a number of accounts that you'd like to have by like let's say October?
I want to be at 200 um, by the end of this year, let's say. So
Okay.
each tech can realistically do like 75 pools per week in this area. So I'm hoping to have three techs by the end of the year and at least 200 accounts. And at that point, usually I think when you get to like 250 accounts is when you can hire a full-time repair guy. So I don't know if that's going to happen by the end of the year. I'll probably just still be doing it myself, and maybe I can, train one of my techs to kind of do basic repairs, like maybe a motor swap, some basic plumbing, obviously filter cleans and stuff like that, which would help. But um, yeah,
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, definitely doable. If you get 10 to 20 accounts a month for the next 9 months, that will get you, right there at 100 more. So definitely doable. Also, that the thing with the like you were mentioning earlier with the Google profile is, especially if you're in a bigger market that's competitive with a lot of Google profiles with a lot of reviews, Google reviews, like yours, I'm sure is. It starts to compound, right? So over time, you get more and more reviews, and your profile will start ranking higher and higher and higher. So you'll start to get, like you're seeing now, you're getting the organic sort of leads through just the Google profile for free, pretty much, because you're getting all these Google reviews. Okay, walk me through like what it was like, kind of getting set up. Like, what was your experience like from your end, like getting set up and getting this going? Um, like what did we kind of do for you? Like, how did that kind of work?
it was honestly it was super simple. So I mean, obviously in school, there's all the videos that basically show exactly the steps that you need to take in order. And so I mean the I guess the most time consuming part was obviously initially getting all the systems in place, but it's worth it because you actually, and it doesn't even take that much time. I mean, it dragged on for me. Like I think it took probably what, like 2, 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was just because I was doing it at night, like after I'd get done working. But if you just grinded, like you could get it done in a few days, I'm sure. And then obviously, like you were there for any questions that I had. If I got hung up on something, you just responded. We're like, oh yeah, do this, or you went in and fixed it yourself. So I mean, it was easy. I mean, as long as you basically, I'm not even good with computers. If you just basically know how to, get on the internet, then like you can figure it out. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, no issue there.
I actually just hired a full-time, or not a full-time guy, but a guy that anytime a new client comes in, he just sets up the whole account.
Oh, dude,
So you
perfect.
you you joined a little too early because you would have had to set up anything, man. Besides a couple things, but mainly it's all done. Um, so what's it kind of like for you running the ads day to day? Like, I guess after you got those ads launched, like how much time are you actually spending on the ads itself? Not like the actual, like obviously whenever the leads come through, you got to call the leads, but just like the other side of it, like the front end side of it, the ad stuff.
I barely spend any time, bro. I should spend more time. That's my issue. So for me, I wouldn't recommend this, but I have some of the original ads that I started in October still running and it's still producing results. I know if I would actually change those out and stay on top of it a little bit more, I'd get way better results. So that's what I'm focusing on next. It's just, again, a time management thing for me. And then also just getting married, a little bit less time. But I mean, it's still been great. And I spend like basically zero time even worrying about the ads at all. But yeah, the next phase is definitely I'm going to be getting into tracking things more and refreshing the ads and actually being on top of the the analytics. And I think that's just gonna. I don't even think I'll need to increase the ad budget per se because that's also something that I could do. But I think
Mhm.
if I just dialed in the ads a little bit more and stayed on top of tracking, it would be, exponential results. So
Yeah. 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 I mean, you still got, 50 accounts in 5 months without even
yeah,
touching the ad. Like after you set them up, you just didn't touch them and then you still got 50 accounts. So, I mean, that's great.
yeah.
Cool, man. Well, that's basically all I kind of wanted to ask you. Well, do you have any kind of final thoughts or advice for someone who's watching this and kind of who's thinking, potentially about doing the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, where I was, which was the next thing I was going to do is I was just going to scour YouTube and try and figure out how to run ads. The issue that I was running into was it was all very generalized and it didn't have any specifics for the pool industry.
Mm,
So I would say if you want to have a system that's a lot more than just teaching you how to run the ads, which that alone pays for itself because you're going to save all the time that you would have wasted scouring YouTube, scouring the internet, ChatGPT, trying to figure this shit out. If you just would, I mean, putting in the time to just like getting these systems set up, and then I mean, not to mention the reviews system that comes with it. That alone has brought a lot of clients because, like you said, it's boosting the Google profile and just making it look more trustworthy. So, um, yeah, I mean, I would say if you're looking into either having somebody else do it for you or trying to do it yourself based on, just kind of going in blind, this is 100% worth it. Um, I mean, it's not even a question. It's saved me so much time and headache just trying to figure stuff out. So yeah, it's worth it.
awesome, dude. Awesome. All right, so there you have it. Ben was able to add about 60 accounts over the last 5 months during the off season. So from October to now, which is like March 25th, as I'm recording this video. And as he said, we fully trained him on how to run the whole system, run the ads himself, run the back end, run everything. So now he has this skill set inside of his business, and he can use it to get anywhere from 5 to 20 or more accounts every month, even during the off season. All right, that's kind of like the result that he's gotten so far, and we are still working together right now. So, if you kind of want to learn about how you could get a similar result to Ben, not promising that you will get the exact same result, but, if you want to kind of learn about how this system would work in your business, how we can help you run it, we actually offer two things. We can either kind of run the ads for you on the back end, so we can run all the marketing for you, and then you would just close the leads. We only take on a limited number of those clients, though, so no promises that we have a spot right now. There might be a wait list. Or the other option is do what Ben did, which is where we basically installed the system in his business and taught him how to do it himself so that he could do it himself, right? So if you want to learn more about how that could look for you, we kind of discuss which option is better for you, kind of how it would look, how much it would cost, and all that stuff. Just click the link below this video. There should be a link somewhere around here that you can click, and you can go ahead and book in a free strategy call with me or someone from my team, and we will discuss how we can help you grow your business. All right, talk to you soon.